Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I'm looking for my
fantastic.
pen. Did you take my pen?
Probably. Oh, hey, is it this blue pen right here? This pen?
Yeah,
Heidi?
that one.
I made it appear. Coming up later in the program, going to be visiting with Jean-Pierre Isbouts, I believe is how you say it, about the 7 best places to fall in love. So I doubt that the place we met and fell in love is on his list, but you just never know. A shady bar in Iowa. Now, I'm excited to chat with him a little more about that. A sun temple dating back to 1213 BC has been found near Cairo. It says here ancient Egyptians worshipped the sun as a source of all good. So that's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I worship the sun as well, but the Son of God. Huh, see? See what I did there?
I see what you did.
If you enjoy sardines on toast or a dinner of oily fish, they'll help keep your weight down and maintain good health, according to a recent study. So, again, sardines on toast or oily fish. Doesn't sound like my idea of a good time. Maybe that's why I'm not such a healthy guy. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, June 22nd. Today is Global Smurfs Day.
Global Smurfs.
Yeah. Happy Smurfs,
Smurfs?
Day to you. Yeah. Smurfs.
Well, I know that what my son wore when he was in the Navy was called Smurfs.
Well, that's
so
because
I didn't
they
know
were
what they were talking
There was
about.
a blue outfit. They called them Smurfs because they were blue. Today is Stupid Guy Thing Day. So, it's a stupid guy thing. Today's the day to do those things. And today is Baby Boomers Recognition Day. Hey, are you a baby boomer? I recognize you today. I think I'm going to celebrate Smurf Day. I'm not exactly sure how. Look on our shelf right over there.
I
We've
love
got
the
some
Smurfs.
Smurfs.
Yeah, we do.
Happy Smurf Day to you. All right, I'm done. I'll quit singing. And I do have some fun stuff to talk about. We're talking about birds that are pretending to be cell phones. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond Lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. If you keep hearing your cell phone ring and it's not really your cell phone, maybe it's a bird mimicking a cell phone. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, really?
In Australia, one of the highest mobile phone usage rates in the world is what they have there, and the electronic tweeting of mobile phones is so widespread now that some Australian birds are mimicking the sound and making it part of their mating and territorial songs. Australia has 6 so-called mimic birds, which commonly imitate sounds of nature, particularly other bird calls, as part of their mating and territorial displays. So how does a female mimic bird choose a mate? She listens for a male bird that is up to date on the latest cell phone tweeting, according to this. It says, if you think this is strange, then consider Australia's lyre bird, L-Y-R-E, lyre. It's the best mimic of all of them, and it imitates the click and the whirl of cameras, the buzz of chainsaws, and the roar of motorcycles.
That is insane.
These
I'd
are the
kind of like
noises.
to check that bird out. I'll have to go online, see if there's some videos.
Your phone makes a funny little noise that I've been mimicking. What does it do? What happens when it does that?
I don't know.
That's my phone that's making
your
that noise. So I'm going to just decline that call. Sorry, I'll take that. I'll call you back later. I thought my ringer was off.
It's not good.
But yours goes. It does this little.
Okay. That's nice.
Just that little thing. And we'll be sitting there. What is it? It's like you're getting an email, or what is it you're getting when it does that?
It's like when I like something on Facebook.
Oh, when you like something. It does it. She does it a lot. So I was sitting there the other day, and she was doing it on her phone. It was going. And then I would go back. I'm just making that noise with my lips. I know.
Yeah.
I could be a mimic bird. But I'm not. Anyway, the birds are making those same kind of noises over there in Australia. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain. And this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. A British woman's bulging wig did not fool the agents in Norway. She said she was just having a bad hair day. No, what she had a bunch of cocaine strapped to her head.
I figured that, too.
Yeah, she had it glued so firmly they had to take her to a hospital to have it removed. A court ordered the woman to be held till July 15th, pending a formal indictment and trial. So she does not get to go home. Got another story here, because there's two of them. I didn't know which one.
That would hurt. Can you imagine having to have something like that removed from the top of your head?
That would not feel good. Actually, I don't have time to get to the other story now, so I'll save it for tomorrow, because then we'll have another good... whatever this is called, brain on drug segment. So there you go, kids. Don't strap cocaine to your head, or they'll have to take you to the hospital and surgically remove it. And it's true, because that's the other thing. No, kids, that's what happens
when your brain. And her brain was literally on drugs.
No, her drugs were on her brain. But that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Got a moment of duh here. A demolition crew tried to dynamite a city block and failed, but they managed to damage a whole lot of other houses. This happened in Romania. Now, we've talked about numerous cases where people have done this kind of thing.
Yeah.
This was an attempt to demolish a whole block of flats in Romania. It left the block untouched, but it did make 24 nearby houses uninhabitable. The promised, quote, controlled explosion in the town of Flamenzi. That's a fun name. Flamenzi, Romania. Anyway, they blew out every other window in every other home for within 500 feet. The roofs of two nearby buildings were collapsed as well. The block of flats was supposed to be destroyed to make way for a new church. But instead, all the flats made it through, and 500 feet away, every home within 500 feet had damage. That's crazy. We have your scoop of the day coming up in a bit.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. A Canadian man who repeatedly entered Michigan to buy and ship thousands of turtles back to his native China has been sentenced to 5 years in prison for smuggling turtles. Yeah, he's a turtle smuggler. So I wonder.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Apparently,
I didn't know it was illegal to ship turtles.
Must be. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been arrested for 5 years in prison. Is a long time for smuggling turtles.
That's pretty steep.
Yeah, despite evidence showing we gain less weight and save an average of $9 per meal when we cook at home for ourselves, Americans are eating less at home. The data shows that Americans are spending more at bars and restaurants, about $55 billion there, than they are on groceries, which is only $52.5 billion. It is the first time in history that this has happened, by the way. Up until now, we've always spent more money on stuff at home. Now we're spending more money to go out and eat. Scientists in Australia have concluded that a mimosa plant can learn from experience and have long-term memories. So a plant can have memories. Yeah. Now, isn't a mimosa a drink?
Mimosa is a drink.
Yeah, well, there's also a plant that's named that. I think the drink helps you forget memories, if I remember correctly. Hey, the Irish have begun burying people with their cell phones. It's a tradition now. That way they'll have a way to call for help if they're not really dead.
Oh, my gosh.
So here's my thing. I can barely get a signal on top of the ground. Can they get a signal 6 feet under? I wonder. Fish oil capsules will not help boost weight loss if you're already dieting and exercising. New research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, I read that when I'm bored, says among a group of overweight and obese adults enrolled in a diet and exercise program, those who took omega-3 fatty acids didn't lose any more weight than those who were given a placebo. Now, here's the thing. It's not for losing weight. Isn't it better for your heart? Isn't that what it is?
That's what they say, but
they're saying in the study that it didn't help you lose weight. But I don't think that was the point in the first place. It's about being good for the old ticker. Kevin Shegog of Covington, Kentucky, robbed a gas station and made his getaway in a car with license plates that say Shegog. Yeah, personalized plates with his last name. You might not want to park right in front of the gas station when you're robbing that. Or just don't rob it. George Donald of the United Kingdom was looking for a job, and he walked into a business and gave the owner his name and his phone number, and then decided, I'm going to steal the owner's handbag while I'm here. That didn't work out so well. He had your name and phone number. And, by the way, you did not get the job. Christopher Coleotti of upstate New York was arrested for car theft after he was driving a stolen car. Then he slowed down to wave to a sheriff deputy that he recognized from a previous jail term. He was like, oh, I know that guy. So he slowed down to wave at him. That gave the deputy a chance to check the license plate, and he realized, hey, that car was just reported stolen. So that's not a good plan. Watching people eat online is a new fad in South Korea.
Oh, my gosh.
It's called mukbang. This is in South Korea. The videos are all over the place on YouTube. I'll show you.
My
I'll share a
gosh.
link on our Facebook page. A 14-year-old boy is pulling in $1,500 a month by letting people watch him eat food.
That is insane.
I'm saying I'm going to start my own video channel for this stuff. I like to eat. If I can get paid for that. Anyway, there's a link at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. A father in the UK has been told to demolish his garden pond. You know why?
Why?
Because his landlord says burglars could fall down in that and drown. So you need to get rid of your pond. A burglar could get hurt in it.
Well, and that's because burglars are able to sue
Isn't
and
that
they
crazy?
win when they get hurt
That's
coming
nuts.
onto your property.
A new survey in Washington, D.C.
It's sad when we're living in a time when we have to make things easier
For
for,
the burglar.
burglars.
Yeah, crazy.
And what happens now if your yard is not lit well enough? Do you have to light it well and
Apparently.
leave the front door unlocked
Make
so
it
they
easy.
don't break their
Come on.
hand trying to
Hurting
pick a lock? Or
Hurt myself breaking in. A new survey says Washington, D.C. is America's most physically fit city.
Really?
I think it's because of all the politicians, dancing around the issues. That's what's going on over there. I think that's what it is. One last story. Police in Connecticut were able to apprehend a suspect they were running after thanks to a passing motorist who offered the police officer a ride. The anonymous man left the scene, but police did issue a public thank you. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
They saw a policeman
Love
chasing a man on foot, and he pulled up and said, hey, hop in, I'll give you a ride. So he
That's awesome.
followed
Love
him
it.
up and jumped out. That's awesome. All right, that's going to do it for your Scoop of the Day on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. We've got a special guest joining us right now, a best-selling National Geographic author, Dr. Jean-Pierre Isbouts. He's got a book called 10 Prayers That Changed the World, and he's working on a new one about the top 7 places to fall in love. So we're going to kind of chat about both of these. But first, let's welcome Dr. Jean-Pierre to the telephone with us here and to the radio. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, John. How are you?
Fantastic. Now, the book, first of all, the top 10 or the 10 prayers that changed the world, that is available right now. Is that correct?
That's right. It was published just a little while back by Random House and National Geographic.
What are some of the things that we'll learn in the book 10 Prayers That Changed the World?
Well, I was sort of interested in what makes ordinary people do extraordinary things. For example, here is Joan of Arc. She's 13. She should be playing with her dolls and with her girlfriends. Instead, she's leading an army to Orléans, to the city of Orléans, to oust the British from France. And you kind of wonder, what makes a little girl do that? And you look at other people. You look at Martin Luther. Why would he rise up and against the established rule of the country and start a whole new reformation? Or what caused George Washington at Valley Forge to pause in the snow and pray and ultimately defeat the British? So the common theme of this book is that there are whispers from God. That's what I call them, whispers from God, that sort of propel us to do things that we didn't think we were capable of.
And the book goes on to talk about, in addition to Joan of Arc and George Washington, people like even Gandhi is in the book as well, and things that he had done. Fascinating idea for a book. What made you decide to do this?
Well, it's actually my editor at National Geographic, Lisa Thomas, and I were having a little powwow, and my last book, In the Footsteps of Jesus, became a bestseller. It was sort of a historical look at Jesus, but at the same time, making sure that we kept the spiritual dimension of Jesus. And that's sort of what I'm doing. I'm a historian. I'm not a theologian. I'm not a priest. But I'm a historian. But I am deeply sensitive and deeply interested in what spirituality can do for us, regardless of what religion or denomination you belong to, or perhaps you do not belong to anything. But we're all made of body and spirit, whether we like it or not. So that's what fascinates me.
The new book that you're working on, The Top 7 Places to Fall in Love, is a little bit of a departure from that, but there's certainly a connection, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, because then I took it one step further and say, well, if we're made of body and spirit, which is something that in our Western lifestyle we don't really recognize, we're so involved with our iPads and iPhones and smartphones that we really don't give enough time to reflect on the fact that much of what we are and much of where our love is about is, in fact, about the spiritual half of ourselves. Now, the Indian and Chinese philosophies have known that for a long time. When you look at chakra philosophy in India, they say that the whole body is about 7 energy centers, 7 chakras. And one of those chakras is, in fact, has to do with love, with desire, with romance. So if you ignore that chakra center, then you're bound to get into trouble. And that's when I came across, on my many journeys across the globe, about certain places where you can really feel that spiritual connection with the universe. And that's why these places have been ancient shrines going back hundreds of years. So I decided to write a book about that.
Now, are there some specific places, and I don't necessarily need to get all 7 because I know we don't have time to do that, and I want people to go and read the book, but can we talk about 1 or 2 of the places that are one of the most interesting places that people fall in love?
Well, absolutely. Of course, in our country, it would have to be Sedona, because people are always talking about the spiritual vortex in Sedona, Arizona. And I went there last year on one of my trips, and I experienced it. It's a ravishing place, absolutely beautiful. Delphi in Greece is one of those. I just came back from Myanmar, which most people will know as Burma. Bagan is an incredible place. In fact, what all these places have in common is great beauty, a certain altitude to be removed from everyday concerns, and thirdly, a very long ancient history. So those are the stories that I'm trying to tell in this book.
That one's not quite out yet, but it's coming soon, correct?
It's coming soon, and if all goes well, we should have it out early next year. But it's going to be called the 7 Best Places to Fall in Love, to seek a connection with yourself and your loved one, all around the world, in one place, and places in all of the 5 continents. So many places to travel to in the years ahead.
And the thing that's neat about that is this will give you the opportunity, if you're already in love, maybe like my wife and I, we've been married several years, I'll bet there's a lot of places on that list that we've never been. So this would be a good opportunity to say, hey, you know what, let's go spark a little new romance and take a trip and have some fun. So I'm excited to see that book, but also thank you for the one that's out currently, 10 Prayers That Changed the World, and it's been really fun to have the chance to visit with you.
John, it's been a pleasure, and if people want to know more about it, all they have to do is go to YouTube, enter 10 Prayers, TEN, 10 Prayers That Changed the World, and from there they can see a video and my website and all kinds of other wonderful things.
Very nice. Again, Dr. Jean-Pierre Isbouts, a best-selling National Geographic author, current book that's out right now, 10 Prayers That Changed the World, and be looking for 7 Best Places to Fall in Love. Thank you again for joining us today.
It's been my pleasure, John. Thank you.
Again, the book that's available right now, 10 Prayers That Changed the World, and be looking for 7 Best Places to Fall in Love. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
Do you buy lottery tickets? Maybe you wait till the jackpot is big, then you buy one. I was like that too. Like my odds got better because the jackpot was more. Well, I think I found something that actually will give me a better chance to win. It's called Lotto-licious. I learned about this from Richard Lustig. He literally wrote the book on how to win the lottery, and he should know. He's a 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Richard plays and endorses Lotto-licious, and I just signed up too. I'd love it if you join Richard and I. You can play Powerball and Mega Millions without even going to the store. Sign up right now at RadioLottopool.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
They hit puberty in the
I
middle
know
of that
you did.
sentence
I
there.
was noticing
A quarter horse No, a quarter of horses in the U.S. died of large virus epidemic in 1872. So we lost 1/4 of all of our horses that year.
Oh.
Crazy. That's not a fun fact. That's a sad fact. Fun fact for you,
What's
Heidi.
that, John?
When Beethoven was a child, he made such a poor impression on his music teacher that he was pronounced, quote, hopeless as a composer.
Ooh.
Beethoven is who that was.
I bet her face was red.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The Kansas City Railroad used to stop their trains to allow passengers to shoot at passing buffalo. It's kind of
Oh.
crazy.
Wow.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
French astronomer Adrien Auzout was once considered building a telescope 1,000 feet long because he thought if he built a big enough telescope, he would be able to see animals on the moon.
Animals.
This
on the-
happened in the 1600s, by the way. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Women shoplift more than men at a ratio of 4-1.
Aw.
You thieving ladies.
I don't doubt
I
that.
bet women shop more than men at a ratio of 4-1. It all kind of goes hand in hand. Or hand in pocket, according to that, maybe. All right, a couple of fun facts for you on a Wednesday.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. I've got a survey from Colgate Toothpaste that says 79% of singles spend 47 minutes getting ready for a first date. That includes both men and women. 42% admit they like to believe that each date is a chance to meet, quote, the one. Additionally, 40% of singles say smoking is a deal breaker for romance. 5% refuse to go on a second date with somebody who insists on answering his or her phone during their first date. Here are the things that Men's Health says guys should not do or say on a first date. Guys, you ready for this? Heidi, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Don't tell her how much money you make. Sell your personality, not your wallet. If all
right.
you have to say is, well, I make a whole lot of money, good for you.
Yeah.
If that's all you have going for you, you ain't got much.
Right.
Next, don't get drunk on the first date. You look stupid and you say dumb things. It's a bad idea. Control yourself. Next, do not use the words proactive unless she specifically told you of her mad attraction to motivational speakers. You know, I'm very proactive and
Yeah.
I have a very efficient use of my vocabulary. Do not refer to your issues unless she specifically told you of her mad attraction to men in analysis. Next, don't dress creatively. On a first date, she needs the reassurance that you're normal. Don't try to prove that you're a fun guy. Do that some other time. Also on the first date, don't give everything away, especially on the family, ex-girlfriend tragedy or any of that kind of stuff. There's a real chance she may never return from the ladies' room if you do that. If you tell her too much, she's not going to the ladies' room. She's bolting out the back door. Next one, avoid leaving your shirt unbuttoned to the navel. Do you really need anyone to tell you that?
Really? I think everybody should probably know that.
Avoid dancing, even if you're a good dancer. I disagree with that. I think if you are a good dancer and she likes to dance, you should dance. I'm just saying. I disagree with Men's Health once in a while. Don't go on and on about high school. There's a certain kind of man for whom mid to late teen years is still a big part of their life. If that's you, keep that to yourself at least till the second date. And then the last thing is, if it was your idea to go out, it's your responsibility to pick up the check. If it was her idea, then you certainly can split it. But I would still be a man and at least offer to buy it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I
A couple
agree.
of tips from Men's Health Magazine. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Hey, this is Tim from Hope and Faith Machine Works. Are you having one of these days?
How in the world am I going to do that?
Or even,
If I could just have this, my life would be so much easier.
well, this kind of stuff is my specialty. At Hope and Faith Machine Works, we work with anyone who needs something built, fabricated, or just done right. We've done medical, industrial, PLC, and prototype designs. You can reach us at yourhopeourfaith.com. That's yourhopeourfaith.com.
Interesting question here, Heidi. What if the armed forces only had 9 to 5 hours? Would you feel safe?
No.
If, you knew that at 5 o'clock they got to quit shooting and go
No,
home for the
because
day?
the enemies would know that
Well,
as well.
Sweden is doing that
Oh
with
my
their navy.
gosh.
The The Swedish Navy announced recently, because of slashes in
my
their budget,
gosh.
they're going to cut back from round-the-clock operations to 9 to 5.
Oh.
Monday through Friday only. The Army and Air Forces there in Sweden say that they've not yet decided whether to remain open on the weekends, but they, really hard hit by the new budget cuts and the legislature's ban on overtime work. So they're saying, if we got to quit working at a certain time, sorry. I know there was an invasion, but I had reached my 40 hours for the week. So that happened in Sweden.
That's a bad idea.
I got a feeling that the same kind of thing could happen here. You just never know. Coming up, we're going to talk about something that I think we may have talked about before. Smell-o-vision. We talked about that?
Yeah, a long time ago.
We're going to talk about that again because there's a new Smell-o-vision 2.0 on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Something we've talked about in the past on this program, it's been a while ago, but it's back when they first announced that they wanted to do this. There's a thing called smell-o-vision. I might be saying it wrong. Maybe it's smelly-vision. Anyway, either way, you would be able to smell what's on TV.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like this. Someday soon, you'll be able to, if you're watching Jurassic Park, smell the dinosaur breath wafting up your nose.
Ugh.
Smell-o-vision is coming to a cinema near you. Inventor Stefan Roots says, I've got a machine which you can create all the smells in a movie. When you walk into a theater, you'd be given a Walkman-sized silver sniff man, which would be worn around your neck. During the movie, it would squirt out the appropriate fragrances every 20 to 40 seconds. He says, just imagine, in a film like Jurassic Park, it would smell like bogs and rainforests.
Yeah, and when he was digging in the poop, it would smell. No, thank you. I'm okay.
The phone ringing in that pile of steaming stuff? Yeah.
No, thank you.
During romantic scenes, when the hero bends down to kiss the princess, you'd be able to smell her perfume. This is this man's lifelong dream coming true, and it's a bad dream. I'm just saying.
No, I don't think that's a necessity, really.
Like a year or two ago, when we very first talked about this was his idea, and now he's actually done it. That's kind of scary.
Can you imagine what it would cost for the theaters to get all of those,
Who's
enough
gonna
of those
do
things?
that? I don't know. All right.
I just don't see it taking off.
Me neither. Thanks for, you know what? Someday maybe we'll look back at this and go, wow, what a couple of
we were
idiots.
wrong.
Way off. Everybody wanted to smell what was going on in those movies. I don't think so. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Heidi, do you think you might be burning out?
Yes.
I have a test to find out if you're burned out or just a little singed. I'm going to read these items, and then you're going to rate yourself from 1 to 5, and then try to keep track of how many 1s and how many 5s and all that.
5 being the worst?
5 being the worst, yeah. I feel tired even if I've gotten an adequate amount of sleep.
Yes, 5.
I'm dissatisfied with my work. I'm interested.
No. I would say, I don't know, 2.
Okay. I feel sad for no apparent reason.
Yeah, sometimes.
I am forgetful.
No, I'm not one.
Number 4, I am forgetful. Oh, I just read that one. I'm just kidding. I am irritable and I snap at people.
Yeah.
Answer,
Number
Heidi.
5.
Come on. I avoid people. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I have
5.
trouble sleeping due to worrying about work.
Yeah, 5.
I get sick more than I used to.
No, I'm not sick, so 1.
My attitude about work is why bother? You don't need to answer that one. I often get into conflicts. My jog performance is below par. I use alcohol or drugs to feel better. Communicating with others is a strain. I can't concentrate on my work like I once could. I'm easily bored with work. I work hard but accomplish little. Moving on with the things you're supposed to be saying, anywhere from 1 to 5 on these. This is from Men's Health. I'll put it on our Facebook page to make it easy. I don't like going to work. Social activities are draining. Romance is not worth the effort. I watch TV most of the time when I'm not working. I don't have much to look forward to in my work. I worry about work during off hours. Feeling about work interferes with my personal life, and the last one is my work seems pointless. So if you range anywhere from 25, which would be 1s for everything, up to 50, which would be 2s for everything, you're doing well. 51 to 75, you're okay, but you might want to take a little preventative action. 76 to 100, you're a good candidate for burnout. And if you scored 100 to 125, my friend, you are burned out. Take a break.
So what are you supposed to do?
I don't know. No advice for that. You just need. We're just telling you that you got a problem. I have no advice to fix it. I will share this at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think I got some here. One of the world's most respected scientists has said there is scientific proof that points to the existence of God.
Oh,
I think that's really cool. First of all, I got to tell you, his opinion doesn't make me believe any more or any less. I already believed all I needed to before he even said this.
Right.
But Geophysiological Association of Anthropological and Cultural Studies scientists, Michio Kaku, who is known as one of the developers of
His
the
name
revolutionary...
isn't easier to say than his job.
I know. He's known as one of the developers of the revolutionary string theory. He stated, "I have concluded that we are in a world made by rules created by an intelligence." In a video, Kaku explains, using physics and mathematics and referencing string theory, how science points to the existence of God. He stated, "To me, it is clear that we exist in a plan which is governed by rules that were created, shaped by a universal intelligence and not by chance." So, one of the most respected scientists in the world, and hands down one of the smartest mans on the planet, has now come forward and said, "I have proof that there has to be a God."
That's awesome.
Now, here's the thing. I also have proof that there has to be a God. Here's my proof. Look at all the wonderful, marvelous things around us, and look at how beautiful, looking out the window right now, these clouds that are floating by. I mean, how beautiful that is. The leaves that are dancing on the tree over there, how beautiful that is. All of this, I don't think it could possibly just be a mistake. I mean, that would be like, I heard a guy explain it one time. He said, the Big Bang Theory, I understand what you're saying, but what you're saying is that this thing just boom, and then all of a sudden we existed for no particular reason. Mm-hmm. He said that would be like throwing all of the parts for a watch into a dryer and hitting, tumble, and saying after a certain amount of time it's going to assemble itself.
Yeah.
It's not going to, it'll never happen.
Right.
By chance, that's not going to happen. But anyway, I've got a link to this. I thought this was really neat. The first story of this came out like a week ago, and I shared it on our Facebook page then as well. But now all the details are out at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Time for the bonus break, brought to you by WinThisOnline.com. We haven't talked about that in a while, but we've got a really cool trip on there. It's for the Mall of America, and you would get yourself to the Mall of America, but once you get there, tons of fun in store for the whole family.
What?
Tons of fun in store for the whole family. That's what I meant to say. It's going to be a good time. Give the kids something fun to do this summer. If it's close enough for you to just drive there, you can do that. And it's in Minnesota. It's in the middle of the United States.
Right.
It's not that far.
It is it's pretty impressive. It is something
it's
everybody
cool.
should see at
and
some
there's
point.
the Nickelodeon Universe. You can go play on all the rides and stuff. That's all included. You get to go play mini golf at the Moose Mountain mini golf course. We've played that. When we played there last time, Heidi and our kids pretended to be British
tourists,
foreigners that were visiting. They talked the whole time in British accents, and I can't do that very well. And I'm just not a good liar, so I was smiling the whole time and laughing. I said, "Let's just do this. You guys are here visiting me. How's that sound? I'm going to be the dumb American, and I'll pretend that you guys are all from England." So it was fun. Anyway, tons of fun for the whole family at the Mall of America. Quite the endorsement there.
It was.
Go pretend like you're from somewhere else. Anyway, win your trip right now at WinThisOnline.com. Taking you back now to a little place called 2004.
Okay.
Remember that
place?
time?
That's a time.
It's a time and a place. Google had just released Gmail. That was a new thing. 2004. We're talking 12 years ago.
All right.
Facebook was connecting the first tiny little groups of people. And you probably took your phone calls on a thing called a Motorola Razr. I had one of those. Remember that?
Yep, I do.
Silver flip phone. Well, there's a new video that says they're coming back. And according to this, they're back this month. I've got a video.
Razors?
Yeah, the Razr.
Really?
So I'm not sure because, smartphones decimated their business. They had no, there was nothing left once smartphones
So
came
is
out.
it going to be a smartphone razor?
Yeah. Well, right here is the video. I'm gonna just mute that because we're watching the video, but it says TTYL, like talk to you later.
Right.
And it says Moto 06, 09, 16. So that means, what was that, like a week ago?
Right.
That these are supposedly out again. And it looks like, at least all the ones that I'm seeing here, they all look exactly the same as they did back in the day. I'll share this on our Facebook page so you can see it. But back in the day, this was the coolest phone. Remember that?
I actually really liked my Razr.
I did too. Yeah,
you
had,
can't really text on it.
But that's where I think they've updated this to make it a smartphone, I think. Because it says TTYL, talk to you later, Motorola 06, 19, 16.
Huh.
So, and I'm looking to see, because it says,
interesting.
The future of razors, what was awesome from yesteryear is now the future. So I can sign up. It still doesn't. You're kidding me. Sign up for what's ahead. I'm gonna do it. It's our bonus break. We got a moment here. John, do I put my first name or my whole name? What do I put here? First name, John.
This is seriously what we're going to do right now?
Yeah.
Why don't we just say we'll do this and then let everybody know after we're done what happened?
Hey, they started it. I confirm that I'm at least 16. Yes, I do. And I'm going to click submit. I'm just going to see what it is. If it shows me the stupid phone, thank you for registering.
That's all it says.
Continue to visit
That was
Motorola
exciting.
for latest updates.
That was so
Would
exciting.
you guys please tell me, is the stupid thing available or not? I waited on this because I thought by the time we actually got to this story that we would maybe.
I am really interested to hear what it is that
I
they're
am
doing
too.
because I liked the Razr.
I did
it was
too. I liked it a
tiny
lot.
and the screen. You didn't have to worry about the screen cracking because it closed.
Yeah.
Where these expensive smartphones that we've got now, every single person in our family, the screen is shattered. Yours is not.
But why is that? What is different about my phone than all of your phones?
Yours has a case with a lid.
I close it and cover my screen. So that's why, just like the old Razr did. Moto E, was that what they would call it? No, because that's the same stupid thing. Well, what a pointless bonus break. When this online is going to call and say, can we please get a different bonus break? Can you please redo that? That was the dumbest thing ever. I saved it till after because I was going to read this like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I'm going to wait until it comes out, then I can actually tell you. But I feel like we wasted an awful lot of time.
Well, now we can all watch for it.
Yeah, well, keep your eyes peeled. Apparently, it may be coming out, or it may not be. I don't know. In Brighton, England, police got a tip about a couple of guys that stole a car. They had a warrant, and they went to an apartment. While they were there, the guys were saying, oh, no, we didn't steal a car. I don't know. That car outside, I don't know anything about it. Well, it turns out they found some rolls of film, or a camera, rather, and the last 4 photos that were on the camera were these guys, and it wasn't film, it was a camera. But the last 4 photos on there were these guys with their tools of the trade, with what they were using to steal the car. And the best part is the first 20 or so photos that were on the camera were the people who owned the car, that they said, it was outside of our apartment, but we didn't steal it. No, that's not, I don't know how it got here. I don't know who stole it. Well, they took photos of themselves, and they had themselves and the victims all on the same camera.
Not smart.
Not smart at all. And one last story here. 19-year-old Brandon Narvity of Chino Hills, California, thought it would be cool to have his own cell phone, but apparently he didn't have the money. That didn't stop Brandon from going to a nearby Radio Shack and swiping one. He picked up a phone, ran out of the store. However, he didn't realize
there's no service on them.
He was trying to get one first, so he filled out a credit application. He also left behind photos that he took of himself with the cell phone's camera. So he went in and stole a phone that didn't have service after he left all of his info and photos of himself in the store looking at the camera, at the phone. Again, these are people that are not smart enough to get away with crimes. There's probably some smart crooks out there. We just never get those stories.
We don't.
Nobody wants to share. Hey, they stole it, and we never heard back.
And this is how they got away with it.
So, anyway, your bonus break brought to you by WinThisOnline.com, where the winning is just the beginning.